Hey, I'm Scott with New to Hockey, and today we're going to teach you how to tape your stick all the way up to the toe. So of course there are tons of ways that you could tape up your blade. It's largely up to personal preference and experimentation. Today is just one way that you could possibly do it. You know, some people will tape just the center of the stick, some people will go all the way to the toe, some people tape only the toe. There's a huge variety out there. If you watch any hockey game, you'll see the huge variety of ways that people tape up their stick. So keep in mind that this is only one way, but let me know down in the comments if you have your own particular favorite way of taping up a stick and why you like it. There's also, of course, black or white tape and also even more variations, which again comes down to personal preference. Some people say that black hides the puck better, some people say that white blends in with the ice better. Some people say that it doesn't really matter. I personally just use white tape. Sometimes that can help with stick handling a little bit. You can see it out of your peripheral vision a little bit, the puck on your stick. Taping toe to heel or heel to toe is another huge debate about which one is better, which one is going to last longer, which one gets better spin on your puck. But again, it's largely personal preference. So today, again, is just one way. You can experiment yourself, find out which ways work best for you. I personally go from the heel to the toe. Some people will cover the long way, the stick all the way up around the toe with a piece of tape and then fold it down, but that gives you some bumps under the tape and it's not really anything significant, but I personally don't like that. So the way I'm going to show you today is going to be able to cover the whole blade up to the toe without any bumps, without any creases, anything like that. It's going to be a nice smooth cover all the way down. So what I'll usually do is I'll start down near the heel of the blade where it starts to touch the ice, and I start from the back of the blade with the tape facing up and go around from the bottom. And I usually, as I'm taping, don't look at the back of the blade. Just as it comes around on the bottom of the blade, I can kind of judge where it's placed from there. You'll see as I go around. Just pull it tight. Make sure you're pulling it nice and tight. Pull it down across the front of the blade. Go around the back. Pull it up. And again, right, the way I judge it is to see right where it comes up across here. And I'll place it right about halfway across the previous strip of tape. Again, pulling nice and tight. Wrap it around, pull nice and tight, and just keep going. Again, keeping, for me, about half the width of the tape overlapped, and I just keep going around. And again, I'm going to judge as it comes around the bottom of the blade. I'm going to lay it right across where the last piece of tape overlapped. Follow that on the face of the blade. Again, go around the back. So as you get to the tip of the blade here where it starts to get a bit thinner, this is where we're going to change up our technique a little bit. Instead of just going straight around, we're actually going to leave a little bit of extra over here and just pinch it off like that. And again, just make sure that you're lined up with the previous overlap, the previous lay of the line of tape, and just pull it down, lay it tight. Again, pull a little extra. For here, for the tip, we're going to actually swing it around so we can look at the back of the blade. Again, just pinch it off so that way it lays down flat with the previous layer of tape. Pull it tight, lay it down on the blade, flip it back around, and continue doing it that way. I could probably do this better with wasting less tape, but it's a little bit tricky to do this while I'm trying to make sure it's more or less visible for the camera, but basically you'll get the idea from this. So now once you've got the full tip of the blade covered up, we can just go ahead and either cut or rip off that tape, and this is what you're left with. I'm going to push it tight, make sure I got it nice and tight around the edges of the blade here at the tip. Just kind of fold it over, just make sure it's got nice contact with the actual edge of the blade. And then you're going to take some scissors and you're going to cut off the excess around here. So I probably could have done better cutting that around the tip there. These scissors aren't really that sharp, but basically you get the idea of how you can get that nice clean cover around the tip, the toe of the blade. And you can see that there's no bumpiness or anything like that. It's flat right across all the way from the heel to the toe. At that point, some people will take a puck and just kind of go rub it across the blade to help kind of flatten it down. I personally don't usually do that. I'll grab the roll of tape itself and I'll just push it along the surface of the front of the blade and the rear of the blade just to get that tape to lay down really nice and flat. Again, not going against the grain, so to speak, so that way you're not pulling up any loose edges, but I just make sure that, you know, it's nice and adhered to the blade of the stick. Using or not using hockey wax is also another thing that is kind of debated. It's personal preference, but I do use hockey wax and I use Howie's hockey wax. It smells really, really good and it seems to work pretty well also, of course. The purpose of hockey wax is to help prevent the buildup of ice along your tape. So if you're playing for, you know, an hour or something, you can get a buildup of ice on your stick, and that's going to make it a little bit more tricky to control the puck. So this will help to prevent that. Either it'll stop the buildup of ice or just make it really easy to brush that off. And also it gives you a little bit of stickiness again to the blade, so that way you can handle the puck, stick handle the puck a little bit easier, get a better feel for it. So you just kind of rub it along the stick here, and I do this pretty generously actually. Especially along the bottom of the blade, the tip of the blade. Just kind of rub it all around and get it in there so that way we can have full coverage. That way we don't get any ice buildup and we get a nice feel on the puck anywhere on the blade. And then I don't know if this is actually recommended or not, but I then go ahead and just take my thumb and kind of push it in a little bit just to make sure it works right into that tape, gets in those creases, the little spaces between the layers of tape. And that's it. There's your stick, nice and taped up, flat all the way down to the toe. So if you found this video helpful, please do let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. This is still one of my early videos on this channel, so if you have any recommendations or requests for future content, please let me know down in the comments as well. And otherwise, thank you for watching.